Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This week I thought I would do a really simple plan with me just to show how easy my bullet journal is to set up and how much quicker it is now for me to set up my week and just feel a lot more organised. I prefer doing plan with me's where I can just kind of crack on and do the planning and then do a voiceover, so that's going to be the format, and then what we'll do is we'll come back at the end and I'll just kind of give a bit of a final overview, but I will have talked you through most of the points. But for those who didn't see my bullet journal video, this is a lecture term in an A5 size, and I've kept the materials really simple. So I'm not doing loads of sticker work, I'm not doing loads of drawing. Like, the whole thing with this is simplicity, efficiency, get me back to planning really well and keeping on top of my to-do list and being super productive. So let's crack on and get into the planning. Okay, so on to the delightful voiceover portion, and we're just going to crack right in with the setup. So new page next to last week, and this is the one and only sticker that I'm going to put on the spread, which just helps me see the weekly pages at a glance easier when I'm kind of flicking through the pages. I will leave a link to all of the bits and pieces that I use in the description, just in case I don't have time to talk through them all. But first up, all I do is that, and then I write in the week commencing. It's really annoying because watching this back, I've written this far too much over to the left, but when I'm being filmed, I obviously overthink it and then get it wrong, because why would I not? So really simple, literally just put the week commencing and the date. And then what I've started doing is using my fine liners just to underline, just to kind of add a little bit of colour, a little bit of decoration. And last week I realised I quite like doing wavy lines. The straight lines kind of bug me because I don't want to use a ruler and then run the risk of smearing, and I can't do a straight line to save my life, so the wavy one works out quite well. I'm then just carving out my week, and so what I do is I have one side that I just put a very brief overview of my week, which I just use the fine liner to create that column. Again, keeping it really simple, not much setup time, but what I do is just pick a colour for the week and then just use that in all of the things that I do have colour on, which is basically just the dots and the lines. And then I'm just going to go in and write the letter for the day of the week and then the date. And I leave 3 lines per day. I have kind of played around with what I use these for. I did start putting in a couple of tasks in here, and now I've just basically left it to all day events and just events in general, just so I can see at a glance where I'm at each day of the week. So just writing these in, counting them out, because I can't be trusted to not get that wrong. And you'll see when we get to the bottom that I have actually done the line a little bit too long because I matched it to last week's line, but last week's line started further down, so it's a bit squiffy, but it's the kind of thing that, let's face it, only I'm going to notice, but I'm a perfectionist, so I will notice and it will annoy me. And then at the bottom, I just write waiting on. So this is something that I have pretty much in all of my planning setups. It's just a list of anything that I'm expecting. It could be happy mail, or it could be emails, or any other thing, just so I have. It's another thing that I use at work as well, just so that I have that at a glance. Is there anything outstanding? Is there anything I should be aware of? And also it helps me if I kind of look at it and go, do you know what? I sent that email ages ago and I've been waiting for a response. Let's go chase it up. Or why is this order not arrived yet? I have been very patiently waiting for a Wonderland 222 planner for, it feels like an age. It's probably only about 3 or 4 weeks, but it has been written on this page so many times now. Next up, now that I've written out the days, I'm just going and putting in the events. As I'm writing in the events of the week, I am realising that there are a couple of things that got solidified last week in my plans for this week that I did not actually write in here, which is poor from me really. And so I'm writing them in the monthly, which I will then go back and add a dot to, just for attention, because that's what I've been doing, writing in the events and then just adding a colour dot, trying to do some colour coding. So I'm writing them in my monthly and then writing them in the weekly on the specific day. I am trying really hard to write neatly and probably failing miserably, but now I'm just going in and writing in any all day events and any specific calendar events that I need to know about, basically. I am writing the events underneath in the 2 lines, and then what I do is I keep the top line for all day events, so it's a really good place for birthdays and things like that. On the Monday, it's our 1-year gotcha anniversary of our dog, so that's going to go in there, and that's what I've written in. And then now I'm just writing out everything from the previous week that I am still waiting on and that has not arrived. And then once I've done that, that is basically the week pretty much set up. Next, what I'm going to do is add in my first day. So I don't plan out the week in terms of tasks. I only plan out the week in terms of events. And so I just go straight into my dailies from this point, and obviously only do 1 day at a time. So I'm going to use my Midori join dot in blue so it matches the fine liner, and just write in Monday's date. I'm then going to go through and do a combination of a couple of things. Number 1, I'm going to look at everything from my monthly that may need to be done on Monday. Sometimes what I'll do, if there's any tasks that need to be done that week, I might just add them into Mondays, and then if I can box them off early in the week. So you'll see here that I've written in pay council tax. Ideally, if I can pay that on Monday, great. If not, it will just sit there and I will get to it, but I like to just get it on there and then it's quite visible. But through the week, every day when I set up a new day, I will obviously flick back to the monthly as well and just make sure I'm knocking off anything that does need to be done that week, or trying to at least. The next bit, once I've done that, is I'll then look at the previous week and I will start migrating over any tasks that I haven't done that week and moving them over into next week. Some of the tasks, all of the tasks here are ones that I will migrate and need to be done, but sometimes there will be a task where I've just chosen not to do it and I'm not going to do it, and therefore I'm just going to leave the signifier, so the dot open, and then just move on with my life. But anything that I do migrate over, I do use the migration signifier, which basically just turns it into an arrow. That says to me that I've moved it over. If there's nothing on there and it's just left as a dot, that's either something that, generally it is something that I've just chosen not to move across and I'm just not doing. And then once I've written out those tasks, I'll then think about anything else that needs doing. So I'm now just writing in the bits that I need to do for the follow-up for this video. So I'm filming this on the Sunday with the intention that I'll do the rest of the bits on the Monday and get it all uploaded and all of that. So just doing a bit of a brain dump of that. And then it's done. And there we have it, the finished layout. Obviously, I have made one amendment since I finished recording, because sod's law dictates that as soon as I finish recording, I noticed there was one task from last week that I hadn't migrated over. So I've done that now and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start the week. I know exactly what I need to do. I know my regular tasks. I know what will need to be added in on certain days. And I just feel super, super organised. Let me know in the comments how you guys plan your week, particularly if you're a bullet journaler. Do you do something similar to me, or do you have a slightly different layout and don't really set up a week and just kind of run off the monthly and then do the dailies? Really keen to hear how other people do it. But other than that, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.